Hi, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of our movie reviews here on The Kevin Lee Show. Just so you know, if you follow us on Facebook at The Kevin Lee Show, I put out a post about us wanting to choose a name for these reviews. As of right now, I haven't decided on one, though it looks like the two front runners are either Ruined Reviews or Sober Cinema. So if you want, go ahead on Facebook on the Kevin Lee Show .com. Well, you can go to kevinleeshow.com as well, but go to the Kevin Lee Show on Facebook and find that post, and you can vote on there as many times as you like, and that way we can kind of move ahead with that and get everything rebranded here. But today we actually went out this morning and saw the movie It, from the Stephen King book. But before we get there, as is our custom, we're going to be doing all the trailers that appeared before the film. And our first trailer we're going to discuss is one that we have not seen before. I didn't even hear that they even made a movie out of this. And I'm kind of questioning myself, why the hell did they make a movie out of this? And the name of the movie is called The Disaster Artist. And what it is basically about is, and I can't remember the gentleman's name. He was he's a struggling actor in Hollywood back in the day, maybe about 10 years ago. And he wanted to make a movie. And he wrote a script called The Room. You might remember that name. Maybe you blocked it out like I did, but apparently they made a movie about him making that movie. And this was it. Who was it starring, Mike?
I don't even know who it was starring. I just know there was just two actors that were coming up and struggling. They decided they weren't getting any gigs, so they said, "The hell with it, we'll go write a movie," and went from there.
Okay, Chris, did you recognize any of the actors who were in that movie?
Do you mean the original one or the actual
actual movie the movie?
No, I did not.
Okay. Because I think DeFranco was one of them.
Oh, yeah, he would. Okay, so the parody of that movie, yeah.
Yes, the movie.
That's why I said the parody or the actual movie, and you go the actual movie. No, the parody. So, yeah, DeFranco's in there, both of them, both brothers.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have that settled. Okay. I don't know if...
And then you got Seth Rogen as a director in there.
Sure, of course. Seth Rogen has to be in everything. It's in his contract. Anything DeFranco does, he has to be a part of. And vice versa, I think, pretty much.
All right.
Pretty much. I mean, even if it's just for a few minutes, at least one of the DeFrancos has to be in there. Like even that sorority, no, not sorority girls. What was it called? Neighbors.
Neighbors, yeah.
Even the one DeFranco was in there in both those movies.
Right.
So, yeah, whatever. But anyways, so how many times can I say the word so? I don't know if you noticed if you actually watched the last one I did, but I literally said so like it's got to be 150 times, and I'm not exaggerating.
Don't worry about it.
I will not be using that word if I can remember not to use that word today. I will try. But the movie, The Disaster Artist, I mean, I don't know if I would call it a parody. It was almost like a autobiographical type movie,
right?
Correct?
Yeah.
I mean, it looked awfully painful to watch, just even the trailer. So I don't know if watching a whole hour and a half or 2 hour long movie of this would be ideal.
I would save your money. I mean, it's going to have a couple like little. I thought there was a couple of little laughing tongue in cheek jokes, but the rest of it, that's not worth it. You know, I might be like bored and I might watch it like when there's nothing on.
Sure.
When you're channel flipping.
Sure.
That's about it.
Right. Yeah, I don't think they had to make a movie out. Now, the thing is, it might be more of a comedy than they're making it out to be, because in this trailer, it didn't come across to me, at least, as being a comedy. Right. I mean, maybe a couple of funny scenes here and there or funny lines, but not an overall comedy. That said, it doesn't, oftentimes when you see a trailer for the first time, like with The Snowman or The Snowman Killer, I don't know, whatever the hell it's called. See, it's so bad, I don't even remember the name of it, but the original trailer we saw looked absolutely ridiculous. And the other trailers, the subsequent trailers, have looked better. Maybe this Disaster Artist will look better with another trailer or two.
Yeah.
But again, I wouldn't rush out to see it, I don't think at all. So that would be The Disaster Artist. The next movie is one we've covered several times. And I don't think there was anything new in this trailer for Geostorm. Maybe there was, and I'm just blocking it out. But it's pretty much the same premise.
It's been done to death.
Yeah.
For a lack of a better term, the storm of the century, everything goes to crap.
Yeah, but this one we create, right?
No, actually, no, you're both wrong. Mike, did you even watch the trailer? Or did you watch it last time we saw it?
I kind of zonked off.
So basically, it's not
grab me.
just to make this clear, Michael. This isn't a storm. This isn't a simple like hurricane or tornado or something that happens.
No.
This is something that our man-made machines control the weather, and as they allude in this trailer, as it did last time as well, it actually someone hacks into it or whatever, and they're trying to control the weather and either kill people or hold the world hostage or whatever it might be, and they're trying to destroy America and whatever, or maybe the Western world or something. I'm not even certain. They don't actually say what it is, but yeah, that's
same old tired movie premise idea.
Same old tired movie. I can't tell you I've ever seen a movie where they have like the weather machine that can destroy the world. I'm sure it exists. I'm sure it's in some Bond movie that I never saw. But beyond that, yeah, I don't know. Chris, did you notice anything new this time around?
It was a little bit longer, and yeah, they did give us a premise that terrorists or somebody was using it to reshape the map of the world, you know, destroying whatever parts of continents or, you know, cutting countries in half as they need be to you know, reorient the actual planet to their made-up map. Other than that, no.
Well, that's new to me because I don't actually remember that in either one or in this one, so maybe I zonked out. I don't know. So anyways, that's Geostorm. I just hope it comes out soon. I'm not sure what the release date on it is, but hopefully it's like this week coming up or the following week because I can't take these damn trailers anymore. Here's another one that we have. How many times am I going to say, see, now Soul got replaced with, I'm sorry. The next movie we're going to cover is, I guess, a sequel because I never saw the original one, but it's called A Bad Mom's Christmas.
Yeah.
And I know there was an original movie. Mike, did you ever see the original movie?
No, I never saw The Bad Moms.
I never saw it either. It looked okay. It's one of those things where I would wait to see it on cable, and I probably either didn't have that channel or something when it came out. I haven't seen it. I haven't even seen it like on the channel, selection. Chris, did you ever see the original?
No, I did not. I had no desire to see it, and I have no desire to see this one either.
You don't like Kristen Bell or Mila Kunis or the other chick that used to be on SNL? Or she was on SNL, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know her name. I apologize.
This is a PG-13 movie. You want to put them in something else.
There's another one too. The older
harder.
Woman.
I'm fine
I should
with
say
that.
older, but she's been in a couple of things. Kristen Baranski, I think that's her name. The one that plays one of the moms.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's a couple people in there I would say that are recognizable. I'm terrible with names, which is funny because we're talking about things with names and I don't know them, but I'm terrible with them. And I never saw, like I said, I never saw the first one, but from what I understand from this trailer versus the other trailers I had seen in the past for the previous movie, it seems a lot the same. I mean, I'm sure the premise is different and they're bringing in the moms or the grandmas now into the whole picture to make it a more exciting film. That said, it just seems like them going wild and who gives a hoot and
they're profitable.
Who the hell says hoot? Who gives a fuck? And so they start, drinking in the middle of the day and going out to strip clubs and whatever to, live the wild life or something. So
it's formulaic, profitable movie, Hollywood movie material. Every Christmas, almost every year they come out with one of these things that are similar like that because they have the dads right now. Now they're going to have the moms.
Who has the dads, Mike?
The two Christmas dads with Will Ferrell and John Lithgow.
Oh, Daddy's Home.
Yeah, Daddy's Home.
Daddy's Home 2, idea. Electric Boogaloo. That came out already, didn't it?
Yeah.
That had to have come out.
Yeah.
Thank God, because I stopped seeing trailers for it previous, so it must be out. So yay.
Yay.
One off the list. I don't have to see that crap again.
Well, it's one of those
how many times can you see Will Ferrell and John Lithgow kissing? I don't want to see
disturbing.
it. And they're dad and son. That's terrible. So anyways, in that transition, we're going to go to Suburbicon, which actually we did cover last week.
Right.
I don't remember seeing anything that was different in this particular trailer.
It's the same trailer.
It was the exact same trailer. Okay, because sometimes they'll add a little something I don't remember anything else sticking out to me. It still seems like it might be an interesting movie. What is it a movie I'm looking forward to seeing? Like, oh my God, I can't wait till that comes out. Mark the calendar. No, I think that was somewhere in November.
Right.
But yeah, I wasn't overtly excited to see that one any more so than I was last time, which wasn't much at all. So, yeah, They did have the nice crushing up of the pills scene that
Yeah.
Mike liked so much last
I
week.
think it's funny as hell. I can't help laughing.
He doesn't even
about
know
it.
why, though. He doesn't even know who that's intended for. Is it intended for the woman doing it? Is it intended for the guy out in the living room?
No.
They're gonna drug him and kill him. I mean, what the hell? It could be a terrible scene, Mike. You could feel absolutely horrible once you've seen that movie. It might be like, oh my god, I can't believe I was excited for
I
this.
want to
Okay, it's
see
a
it. It looks like
housewife
it's going to be a
coping,
good
like-
dark comedy.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good dark comedy. Well, Mike, what you were saying?
I took it as a housewife just coping with her dysfunctional, gambling, degenerate husband that's into the mob for a lot of money. And that's why I laughed
Well,
about it.
he's she's dead. They killed her.
Uh,
Remember where they say
that's
that mommy's
right.
dead,
Said mommy's dead.
and now the aunt's gonna come stay with us.
That's
Did you
right.
block all that out, or are you just not paying attention?
I probably had a.
That's strike one, Michael.
I know.
Okay. So, but again, Suburbicon seems like it might be an interesting movie. Will I run out and see it? No. But will we see it? Yeah, probably. Depending upon what else is playing at that same time, because a lot of times we intend to see movies, but we don't because all of a sudden 3 movies will come out,
Right.
and well, then we're like, oh, we can't see them all or whatever, and then so we don't. But I think we'll end up seeing Suburbicon, definitely, much more so than A Bad Mom's Christmas or or what anything else on this list for that matter. But and again, same movie we had last week is our next one is the Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
I have to say though, and I don't know if it was the same trailer, but I was more interested in it after this time. Not a lot more interested, but I noticed how many actors, and I don't ask me for names. I don't know the names. I don't have a clue.
Notice Michelle Pfeiffer in there.
There's Michelle Pfeiffer. There was Penelope Cruz was in
Penelope
it.
Cruz, yes.
Daisy Ridley, which is her name.
Okay.
So I was right last week. I got one right. Daisy Ridley, she's in there. William Dafoe was in
Right.
there. Josh Gad was in. I mean, there's a whole bunch of names, a bunch of great actors and actresses. So I'm kind of more excited. Plus, I like Johnny Depp. I mean, I know he gets a bad rap sometimes. I like the guy, at least as an actor. And watching this scene again, the only guy I really couldn't care for, and he's not a bad actor, is the guy who's playing the main inspector. And I believe that's played by Kenneth, someone that starts with a B. Branagh? Kenneth
Yeah.
Branagh, does that sound right? I think that's right. But he's a good actor. I wasn't watching him on the screen and being like, oh, he seems like a great character. It's just like, oh, it's like he's filler.
You could take him
like he's vanilla ice cream in a milkshake. You got to
Yeah.
put something in there, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of an insult, I suppose. But the movie, I would see that one definitely. And surprisingly, at least to me, because like every week for like the last, I don't know how long it's been now, maybe 3-4 months. Every time we go, they always have 7 trailers. This time they only had 6. 6 trailers. And the last one we're going to talk about is Justice League. Now I'm glad because we had a trailer, actually almost identical, maybe it was identical to this, a few weeks ago, and we haven't had one in the last couple of weeks for Justice League. Obviously it's a huge movie coming out, but either the studio doesn't have much confidence in it, which could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Could.
Or they just don't want to saturate the
Or they're waiting for NFL football. To go and plug
Mike,
it.
who's waiting for NFL football?
The movie studio. To plug the Superman. Then see a special Superman in the NFL. Like it'll air it during Monday Night Football. Like it's a
No,
promo.
Mike. No.
Mike, you
No?
got issues, buddy.
No.
We all have issues.
Of course, but your
I have big
issues
issues
are
today.
Yeah. Today?
Yeah, big issues today.
Okay. Anyways, so I think it was the same trailer that we saw last time. So if you want to go back, 3 reviews, and you'll probably find the Justice League one there. But they allude to the fact that someone comes back, and I think that someone coming back is Superman from the dead. He died in the last movie. You don't really get out very often. Somebody tell you, Mike. Okay. So anyways, Superman died in Batman vs. Superman. He dies.
All right.
And they bury him in the ground.
Okay.
But apparently maybe he regenerates or something and comes back. I don't know. But they don't really say, they don't show his name or his face or anything, but Superman's logo is in all the stuff that they put out for the movie. You know what I mean? Like all the poster boards and stuff. So obviously that guy that comes in at the end of the trailer and they don't show his face when was it Alfred was talking to him.
Right.
Yeah. That's obviously Superman, but they don't want to say it.
Okay.
But everyone knows it. So it's like the worst kept secret. I suppose.
But it's still there. It's got to be obvious. You know what I mean? It's right in your face.
What is?
I mean,
That Superman comes back from the dead.
Oh, I guarantee you right now there are people who have no idea. That's why you need to watch this review so you would know. But no, I mean, obviously, I think everyone thinks he's going to come back, but I don't necessarily know if anyone knows, or anyone, that most people know he's coming back for this movie. Now, he might be coming back for the last, like, 4 minutes. Who knows? But, yeah. So, we covered The Disaster Artist, Geostorm, A Bad Mom's Christmas, Suburbicon, I should wear my glasses here, Murder on the Orient Express, and Justice League.
Yep.
Out of those, pick 2 that you actually want to see.
I would probably see the Murder of the Orient Express.
The what? The what?
Murder on the Orient Express.
Murder.
Yeah, and then
Murder on the Orient Express.
Not murder.
And I would see the other, probably the Suburbicon.
Okay. How about you, Chris?
Suburbicon and Justice League.
I'm going to go with The Disaster Artist because I know how bad that original movie was in real life.
Right.
And I got to see what they do because these guys are pretty funny people, you know, and good writers. So I want to see that, and I want to see Murder on the Orient Express. All right. Just because I'm very attracted when you see all those big names up there and all those famous faces on one screen, that always gets my attention. Right?
Plus, I could say it might be updated too, a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. No, I'm sure, and I can't imagine all those people would sign to something that sucked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like if it had just been Johnny Depp and a bunch of nobodies, then yeah, the movie would probably be horrible. Or if it had just been, you know, William Dafoe and a bunch of nobodies, it'd be probably crap. But with all those people thrown into the mix, and I said there's probably like 15 famous people in that movie, then yeah, I think it's gonna be good. So that is actually going to be end our reviews for today. We're doing that early so we can get right to the movie. And the movie we saw today, Mike, was
It.
How do you spell that?
IT.
Okay. Very excited. I like Stephen King personally. I mean, I shouldn't say this. It's so hard. It's so funny because as a writer, I love writers, right? And I love writers, and Stephen King's a writer's writer. I mean, he's written what, 70, 80 books now?
He's written a lot.
Oh, it's a ton. And the thing is, though, I don't really love his style, which sounds funny, but I don't. I mean, I don't. It's not that he's a bad writer. I read a lot of his books, and I get bored. I do. Okay. I do. It's just because I think he gets too much into certain details you don't need to. Like I'm a fan of books being a reasonable length. Like if you can't, in my mind, if you can't tell a story in about 300, 350 pages or less, then you're not good at telling stories.
All right.
Like it doesn't need to be literally 800 or 1,000 pages. It's just, in my opinion. Now that being said, I'm not against people doing it. I'm just not a fan of them.
So like does he over-explain like like a shadow of how dark something was in a scene? Like the
sometimes
okay.
It's not even in his description. He just kind of has like subplots that just don't really need to be there, which are almost too distracting to keep track of while you're watching the movie, or I mean while you're reading a book. You know what I mean? Like sometimes there'll be a subplot that'll be in the first 50 pages, doesn't come back until page 425, and it's like, wait, who? Oh yeah, that person was in there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's that sort of thing. Where, and I'm not against it. Like certain things, like or especially his earlier books, like The Shining and things like that. They're all really well paced, good length books. It's just, and he's got a lot to say. I'm not picking on him. I'm not a big fan of that. So that's why I'm not a big fan of his. Love this. I love the ideas behind the stories, and they make really good movies. Well, they could make really good movies,
right?
And like some of the movies that have been made, like obviously, my God, what's the car one?
Christine.
And you got Cujo.
Pet Sematary, I believe.
Yeah, Pet Sematary. That was a good movie. Now some of them not so much. I mean, The Shining was amazing. Well, I thought it was amazing, the movie itself. Some people actually aren't a big fan of it. Some of the people who read his book, I liked the movie. But I think his ideas make great movies. That being said, and it's so funny because, you know, for many years, like everyone we know has seen the original It with Tim Curry.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Just about everyone I know. I haven't seen it. I never have.
I never have either. I've seen parts of it, but I've never been able to catch the whole movie.
Exactly. I've seen bits and pieces of it. I got Pennywise in my head. I mean, I've seen that face 1,000 times, but I've never actually seen the movie. And I was actually going to sit down because it was actually on TV the other day and watch it before this one. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be spoiled because I don't want to think like, well, that's the classic. That's the standard you have to have. I just want to go ahead and see this movie. So that's why we saw this movie. And we saw the movie It, based off the book written by Stephen King. I know I read the book, and I think it's pretty closely follows the story, well, to some extent. So let's give a summary, I suppose, right? You want to start with summary?
Yeah.
So you start, Mike, and then I'll hop in when you get lost. So give me about 4 seconds.
Okay. It starts with life in a northern town in Maine called Derry. Derry.
What town in Maine?
Derry.
No, but you said something before
I
that?
didn't say Derry.
No, you said...
Life in a northern town.
In
Northern town.
Northern?
Northern town.
Northern.
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 Okay, Mike. Sorry, go on. Northern.
And anyway, it's like you have the teenage angst, like the kids trying to fit into town. You have the town bullies.
What year was it based, Michael?
In the 80s.
What year, Mike?
1988, but you'll say 89.
Because it said 1989
All
on the
right,
screen.
we'll go 1989.
But the opening year was 88.
Well, because that's when the little boy.
Right.
This was yeah. Anyways.
So the little boy that the older brother is trying to look after, named Bill.
Turn your volume up, Chris.
Oh, I see what's going on.
And
okay.
Sorry,
you
Mike.
know, they're doing like their childhood things. He's trying to bond with his brother. I forget the name of the older brother.
The star of the movie?
Yeah, the star of the movie.
All right. So, anyways, the story takes place in Maine in a little town named Derry, 1989.
Sorry, folks.
And the story starts off with two brothers,
Right.
hanging out. It's a rainy day, and apparently the older brother, has the flu or a cold, is sick that day, and they want to go out and play. The younger brother wanted to go out and play in the rain, and I guess they make paper boats and they cover them in wax and let them run down the street and in the running water of the rain. But the older brother is too sick, so he makes the younger brother a boat, and the younger brother's name was. It was George, Mike.
George.
So anyway, George goes out to float his boat.
George.
No.
Anyways, George goes out to float his boat down the street, and it gets carried on and goes around the corner to another street. And all of a sudden, and this is very much like, because I even though I've never seen the original It, I know the scene, at least to some extent, happens in that.
Right.
And this is where young George meets his demise when he comes face to face with Pennywise.
That's correct.
This is where Pennywise is introduced into the story. So, I mean, we're obviously this is spoilers, but like I don't know if Chris, did we ever find out if it's an R-rated or PG-13 rated?
Tell you right now.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009.
Ha 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 ha. Trying to find it and
Just type in what's it rated.
rated. No, that can't be right.
Got a Metascore of 70 on IMDb.
It's rated R. It's rated R. It was giving me all the
it's
TV
rated R.
version that was TV 14, but no, it's
Okay,
rated R.
so it was rated R. Which
Yes.
if it was rated R, they should have gone way more violent and disgusting. That's in my opinion.
Exactly.
I was actually rather disappointed into that fact, but we'll get to that later. So the young man meets his demise. It cuts ahead to the end of the school year, about a year later or so, probably, or somewhere along those lines, to his older brother and his friends hanging out outside of school. That's where these bullies are introduced into the scene for the first time. These older kids who are probably like juniors, seniors in high school. Punks. Mike, you're showing your age here, buddy. No one uses the word punks
Hello,
anymore.
young punks.
You damn whippersnappers. Yeah. So some bullies are introduced into the movie at that point, and many characters actually, and it's a very strange town. I really don't know how to put it other than that. There are no normal people in this town.
It's New England.
Michael.
I mean that in a funny way. I'm not saying all New England things are bad. Okay. Moving on.
Okay, Mike, then, and if not all things in New England are bad, why don't you give me your top three?
You have to be careful with strangers everywhere. It could get cold in New England, and you could get a lot of bad storms in New England, and that could be kind of crappy.
So what you're saying is when it's cold and there's bad storms coming your way in New England, you've got to be extra careful?
Yes. Yes. Very careful.
Okay, Mike.
Because there's strange people everywhere in New England.
Yeah.
There's strange people everywhere.
I
Not
would
just
agree.
New
Right.
England.
I
I'm
would
not
agree.
trying to
Moving
make a generalization here.
Anyways, so yes. So
Moving on.
state of New England. That's per Mike. Not me. I love New England.
So do I.
Moving on.
Moving on. So the movie kind of it takes place essentially over the summer during the school year. And the whole story takes place at that point during that one summer.
Right.
There's a bunch of kids and they all consider themselves essentially, well, they think that everyone views them as being losers, but they're just normal kids,
Yeah.
who ride their bikes and go play games and stuff during the summer months and everything. And it's a pretty normal experience for the most part, except for the fact that there's this killer clown who's, on the loose, who eats children every 27 years. But beyond that, it's totally normal summer. Now, who is it? Did they actually? So obviously, Pennywise was introduced very early on when he kills the younger brother. But when is the next time Pennywise comes on to the scene?
The next time I'd say he comes on is like that one kid. What was his name? Ben,
God.
the bully thing.
Was that the next time?
Or no, wait a minute, no.
It might be. I'm trying to think. I
think-
can't remember.
Oh God.
Chris, do you remember?
No, I do not remember the very next time because there's so many little scenes
Right.
where they show Pennywise
That's
in
true.
the bushes or just
Yeah.
standing up in the background somewhere.
Right. Yeah, Pennywise makes plenty of cameos throughout
Yes,
the
he
entire
does.
movie. And most of the times he's not even speaking. It's just he's staring someone down, things like that. I mean, he does talk from here and there, but
Right.
not till later in the movie for the most part. But essentially, during this summer, each one of these kids in this group, and it's got to be, what, 6 of them? Is
Right.
that right?
Yeah.
Something like that, 6 kids?
Sounds like right.
Yeah, so they each get a visit from Pennywise. And sometimes it's weird because sometimes it seems like almost like a dream, but other times it seems like he's physically there and he almost kills them, right?
Right.
But is there any time where it was just a dream, or not a dream, but you know what I mean, like an imagination?
Maybe possibly the blood scene where all the blood's coming through the sink with the young
Beverly.
girl, Beverly.
Yeah.
Beverly.
So why do you say you think that's imagination? Because obviously the blood's there.
It's kind of suggested because then her like dad, or whoops.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead. Go
Because
ahead.
her dad walks into like the room, like the figure checking like on her, like because she hears a scream, and then there's, according to him, there's nothing there.
But see, okay, that's an interesting thing, and I read the book, like I said, like I don't know how long ago, so I really don't remember the details, unfortunately. And actually, I was about to read the book again, to be honest with you, and I'm sure it's probably explained fairly well in the book, knowing Stephen King. What's strange is that he says he doesn't see anything when he comes to the room and she's covered in blood, the walls are covered in blood, everything.
The father doesn't see anything, right?
Correct. The father doesn't see anything. But then the next day, she gets the boys and have all of them come over and they all see it. So
Right.
it's almost like the parents and the children are in different worlds. Like they can't, like Pennywise only affects the children, not the adults. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because like you could say like kids have a very active imagination, and that would be like his energy to prey off of that.
Oh, right. No, I know. But what I'm saying is like, it's almost like he doesn't inflict the adult world.
Right.
Maybe because they're more mature, their lack of fear. I don't know what it is, but he only really gets involved with the kids. And like I said, that's a perfect scene to explain the fact that only the children can see the blood. He can't.
Right.
Now they don't explain that in the movie, which is one of my gripes about Stephen King movies. And I think part of it is because I think it's because he makes everything so complex in his books that unless a movie's like 6 hours long, you can't explain everything. It's just the way it is. You have to cut out too much. But anyways, back on track here a little bit. Pennywise kind of basically comes and visits them one by one, and at some point, pretty far into the movie, about halfway, maybe even further into the movie, it kind of comes out amongst the kids that that they've been seeing these things, and that there was this clown, and another kid's like, oh yeah, I saw a clown too, and then they
Right.
kind of open up to each other and confess that, oh, I've been seeing this freaky shit, and Another thing, I guess I'll start interjecting my opinions at this point because I don't want to come back to it at just the end. Well, no, because like certain kids, like the kid, okay, like Ben, who's in the library.
Yeah.
He gets
into the town research of the town.
Well, right, no, he's in town research, but while he's doing this research at the library, he gets distracted by these eggs that are placed, and he starts following them. He goes into like the records room downstairs in the basement, and kind of gets attacked by the clowns, sort of. At that point, I didn't feel like he was very real, just more like an imagination thing. But then fast forward to like when Bill gets attacked by Pennywise, right? Down in his own basement. Right.
Using his little brother.
Well, right. But what I'm saying is that Pennywise is like very real and tries to eat him then.
Right.
And just misses him. Right.
That's correct.
So that's why I'm a little confused about the whole imagination versus reality thing, because it seems like some kids were more like an imagination thing versus a reality thing.
Yeah.
Maybe you've got to be susceptible to his, I don't know, carnation as a living, breathing, or just physical presence.
Okay.
Then I don't want to, should I wreck it?
Yeah, Mike.
Okay, I'm going to wreck it. And he preys off of fear. And the more fearful you are, he's getting more energy.
Sure, the more powerful he is. Well, yeah. And just so people are aware, Pennywise, well, and that's another thing too, which I found very interesting about this movie, is I guess they were going to make another scene for the movie explaining his backstory. Now there's no official release as to why they didn't. I guess they wrote it out and they had it ready to go, and only a handful of people saw it.
Okay.
But they decided not to shoot it and not to put it into the movie for whatever reason. Some people are saying because they're afraid it would just be too messed up and screw up a lot of people. Well, I mean, look, because a lot of people are saying like it has to do with him living in like the colonial times, and he's a member of a settling party that gets taken over by a demon, and it's a very terrible experience, and he kills everyone around him, and then he just keeps killing people for centuries on. And that's probably what it is. But it's like some people are like, well, maybe we want to leave that a little bit more vague so people can use their imagination.
Or the other thing I was going to say, maybe because he was doing the history in the library, and they did show like little pictures of Pennywise,
right?
And, like the graphics
and the town charter back in like the 1600s
and we
or
figured
1700s.
that's enough. Like, we don't have to do all that.
Well, right.
To save money.
Well, it's not about to say they like any movie, Mike. They shoot plenty of scenes and they cut them all the time. And one whole subplot of this movie I hated, and I'm just going to get to it right here because I don't want to come back to it at the end and just keep everything separate. Might as well just make it real.
Yeah, make it real.
I think it was a waste of time and stupid for them to have the whole, not the bullying. The bullying part was fine, but I think his name was Bowser, was the head bully.
Yeah.
And that whole part near the end of the movie where
he killed the cop.
He killed his dad,
right?
Who's a cop, and he sees Pennywise on the TV who says, you have to kill them all. And then he starts following the kids around town, and then he's involved in just a very short scene with, I believe his name is Mike, the young gentleman. Well, his name is Mike in the movie.
I know.
So he's a homeschooled kid. He's referred to as a homeschooled kid. Near the end of the scene and he ends up dying, gets thrown down a well. None of that added anything to the movie.
I agree.
But there was nothing that, if they would have cut every bit of that part of it out, you wouldn't have missed it. Not in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I mean, would you? I mean, is there anything? It's fine if they had him listed as a bully and he could just be the town bully. That part was fine. The fact that they had him kind of snap near the end, kill his dad, go follow the kids around, then try to kill the one guy at the well, and then get thrown in the well. I mean, that was a waste of screen time. They could have put something more valuable in there, in my opinion.
Well, Pennywise was doing that behind the scenes to try and protect himself, though, because he knew he was vulnerable to these kids.
And they explained that when?
Well, at the very end, when they defeat Pennywise. Or they depower him, or however it works.
But they explained that he possessed this kid and made him defend him when?
Well, by Pennywise being in the background of all these images he's watching on TV, and like the knife showing up in the mailbox, but it's got like dust and dirt on it yet, and with the Pennywise signature balloon, coming out of the top of the mailbox.
Well, right,
it just means that Pennywise is leading that.
But you have to understand, I don't believe that the average viewer is going to pick up on that fact. And even
Right.
still, it doesn't add anything to the story. It doesn't, just a waste of time.
And
It's a waste of screen time.
And they've shown the balloons like 3 or 4 times. I mean, by the second time, you could kind of draw. If you
Well,
were
no,
paying
but to
attention,
Chris's
the
point, though,
difference.
they're trying to show the
Right.
connection of Pennywise, and Pennywise is the one who delivered this knife to him, even though that would be possible. But anyways, it's just a waste of time. I mean, there's so many more things they could have done. I'm sure there's another subplot they could have put in there. I'm sure they could have used that scene about showing his backstory in place of that 5-6 minutes of wasted. I mean, it's not even like that other guy was like defending Pennywise down in the well. Like, it wasn't like he was down there and he was trying to fight off the kids with Pennywise. Nothing. It was just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just bugged the heck out of you.
It was just, to me, I hate waste. Words are valuable, and on screen time is valuable, and you want to make every minute count. Like, and then they had to shoot the other scene where they showed the kid with his grandfather, where he's gonna put the bolt in the lamb's head to kill the lamb.
Right.
That whole scene was just so they could have him almost get a bolt in his head. So that was another 3 minutes they didn't need to be in there. I mean, no, I'm serious. There's like 7, 8, 9 minutes of screen time is a lot of time in Hollywood.
No, I don't agree. I think that was because the kid overcame his fear of killing the lamb. His father gives him the speech, well, you're either the one holding the gun that puts the bolt in someone's brain, or you're the lamb getting it put through your brain, only you don't know till it happens.
Which I think is complete bullshit anyways. It's not the way the world works. It's not black and white. There's no black and white in the world. But anyways, everything's gray. Like, it just is. Anyways. Yeah, so like I said, we're trying to keep the reviews a little shorter now. So we're trying to keep, we were shooting for an hour and we always went over. So now I'm going to shoot for like 45 minutes. So we hit like 45, 50 minutes. Right now we're at like 38 minutes. Okay. Just so everyone's aware in the room. And it takes a little while to wrap these things up. And we actually want to do a little bit of justice to the movie itself. So
go on.
I'm trying to, okay. So each child is exposed to Pennywise. They, at a certain point, decide to go confront Pennywise once they discover where Pennywise is located, which is referred to as the well, but there was a house built on this well.
It's abandoned.
Decrepit, freaky looking old house. They go there. They almost die, but they're actually able to fight off Pennywise.
Right. When they're all united.
Right. When they're all united, escape with their lives. Very good, Mike. So it's important. They learn an important lesson. That being said, instead of learning that lesson, they basically all go their own separate ways. Right.
Right.
Isn't that how you would put it?
Yeah.
Okay. So then what happens after that, Mike?
At the end, whatchamacallit.
No, not at the end, Mike. After that scene, what happens?
At the end of the movie?
No,
Or
that's not the end of the
after
movie,
they kill
Mike.
Pennywise?
No, Michael. This is way before all that. Remember when they first go in the house and they first
okay.
fight off Pennywise and then they stop speaking to each other?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, like 2/3 of the movie.
All right. Well, speeding this up, they're scared of
No,
Pennywise.
we're taking it back a step. We're not speeding it up, buddy. You were going to the end. We're taking it back a few steps.
I was going to say that the kids, they get divided because they don't want to die. So it's kind of like if now they're not all united as one central front.
Right.
Until they all experience that and they realize that he's evil, and there's more power if they're all united. So when they go back,
Well, they knew all that. Right?
If they're all united without fear
right,
of Pennywise.
without fear, that's
Right. So, anyways, what happens is they fight off Pennywise. They injure him. They escape with their lives. One of the young boys breaks his arm. His mom comes and collects him from one of their houses. She does. She comes and she collects him. She says, "You're terrible people. You're never seeing my son again."
AMC pacer.
So she, sure, yes. So, she takes him and they go. So then they all kind of split up and say, "You know what? I'm done with this crap. I'm not, I want to live. I want to live my life, and we're not going to go confront this Pennywise anymore." So they all go their own ways until what, Michael?
Until
until Beverly gets kidnapped by Pennywise.
Right.
And then, well, I think he was planning on originally just killing her, but realizing he couldn't. and then realized at that point then he was in a little bit of trouble.
Well, yeah,
Right.
she talks to him right before he puts her in one of those trances that makes her float, and that what she said to him was, "You can't kill me because I'm not afraid of you."
Right.
Right.
So apparently he can only kill those that are afraid of him, and that's why he picks on children, would be my guess.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too, though, is that I'm glad you alluded to that. Those other children were not like her. The ones that were floating in the air were all dead.
Right.
She wasn't floating because she wasn't dead because he couldn't kill her.
Right. Because she
Correct.
wasn't fearful of him.
So instead of floating like 5 stories up, she could only float maybe 1.5 stories.
Not even, more like maybe about 10 feet.
Yeah, something like that.
So anyway, so once she's been kidnapped, they decide to all come back together and say we have to fight for Beverly. So then they go, and then it's how kind of the whole ending scene happens, and that's when they all start going down the well. One stays back behind, and that's Homeschool Mike. That's what he is. He's Homeschool Mike. I don't know what else to call him. And that's when he fights with Bowser the bully, who shows up, and all of a sudden they have this quick little fight scene, and then Bowser gets thrown down the well.
Right.
And the rest of them go all off to find Beverly. And while they're down there in this structure of tunnels and sewage tunnels, I guess you would call them,
Yeah.
they kind of they want to stick together because they know there's safety in numbers, but they're getting separated because Pennywise distracts one of them with something that would be distracting to them. So the first boy, who I don't know his name was, he was the one Jewish kid in the thing, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, he was. They emphasized he was Jewish. Beyond that,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got a name. I apologize, but I don't remember what it was. He gets separated, and he almost gets killed by Pennywise. They come to his rescue. Then while they're tending to him, Pennywise distracts the leader of this small boys group named Bill, whose brother had died early in the movie. He kind of gets him off in a different tunnel, takes him off, distracting him with his younger brother's image. And he takes him to the same part where Beverly's being held, which is like this center sewer section.
Sewer section.
Well, I don't know what to call it. It's like
It's like 12 stories
Sewage
tall.
city.
yeah, it's like no point for it. Like a water retention or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is,
Sure.
but it I don't know.
The main room.
And actually, talking about the movie after the fact, Chris actually brought up a very good point. They don't explain if this whole sewer system is like a newer thing, but Pennywise has all this stuff in there, like stories and stories and stories full of like children's toys and bikes and clothes, and so obviously he's been there a while, but the structure he's in doesn't seem that old.
No,
Yeah.
And
no, it doesn't.
that bothered me. I mean, that kind
Yeah.
of continuity bothered the hell out of me because it doesn't make sense that you would, because if he's supposed to have been there for like 200 plus years, this structure hasn't been there 200 plus years. That's for certain.
Oh, no, it didn't even look like it was there 70 years.
Right. So it's kind of weird. They don't explain it, which is fine. I mean, it's a movie. You don't have to explain everything, but that did kind of bother me.
Yeah.
So anyways, so Bill gets distracted. He's brought in there. He finds his younger brother, or what he thinks is what looks like his younger brother. And then everyone else from the group catches up to them. They pull Beverly down from floating in the air. And young little fat Ben gives her a kiss, and all of a sudden her eyes get awoken and she's no longer in a trance and she's all good.
Yeah.
But Ben was always vengeful. You know he was, right?
Yeah.
Like he was a little pissed because she had a thing for Bill and not him because he's a fat kid. Fat kids don't ever get any love. Sorry, it's true. I'm one of them. I would know. But so
Well, not just fat kids.
well, whatever. Sure,
That's a little bit
sure.
weird.
But there's
awkward.
always kids, right? Exactly. Who don't get the love they deserve. But so even though he can like wake her from his trance, she still like hugs Bill right away or something or whatever. I don't know. I just find it kind of funny. But they go around the corner. They find Bill talking to, and they can all see his younger brother missing an arm, and they know, whatever. And I think everyone kind of thinks it is him, and maybe he is still alive or something. But then out of nowhere, after talking about how much he misses him and talking to him face to face, and I love him and I love you and all this stuff, he pulls out the little sheep gun and decides to shoot his little brother in the head. And falls down, and at first I think everyone's kind of like, what the hell you just do? You just shot your brother in the head, sort of thing. But then eventually he does transform, and he does reveal himself to be Pennywise.
Right.
And so then this is where they have the big fight scene amongst Pennywise and all the kids. And that scene was actually kind of cool because not only were they working together, but I love the little speech, the little, I don't know his name either. The one with the glasses.
Rich.
His name is Rich?
Yeah.
Rich. Yeah, Rich with the glasses. He has a great little speech. I won't ruin it for you. It's literally a very short speech, about 2 sentences long, but it's a good one. And then they all decide to start pouncing on Pennywise. It's actually kind of cool. I like that scene. That's definitely one of my favorite scenes, if not my favorite scene of the movie.
It was a good scene. I liked it.
Yeah. So, again, we're not giving away everything. We're just kind of giving the general idea of the movie, if we liked it or not. And they kind of leave it at the end.
Where it could,
where it's over, but it's not over. It could come back in 27 years. Now, oddly enough, too, that movie was to take place in 1989.
Right.
And 27 years from then would be what, Mike?
2015. Wait a minute. 99, 2016. Excuse me.
There you go, buddy. God help us all. So that would be taking place like just now.
Right.
So does that mean there's going to be a sequel? And even at the very ending of the closing of the credits, it says chapter 1. So there would obviously be a chapter 2.
Well, let me give you an idea here. The movie's 2 hours and 15 minutes long, although to me it felt longer sometimes. However, its production budget was only $35 million. Meanwhile, it has brought in to date foreign and domestic $630 million plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say they're going to make a sequel.
Yeah.
Right, but they have to write a sequel, and that's going to be the interesting part. Is you actually have to write it first, and everyone's got to like it. You know what I mean? And the thing is, and people don't understand too. Like, and I'm not exactly sure what the contract was, but knowing what how literary contracts are written, and even how famous writers get screwed, it'd be interesting to see what Stephen King wants to do with this. Because he doesn't need any money. He's got money. He's got hundreds of millions of dollars. Second up, I mean, he loves to create, so I'm assuming he wants to have a second one, but he's going to have to want to write it.
Yeah.
That would be interesting, actually. Because, well, no, you don't understand, like the way, like even like famous writers, right? They'll write a book. You don't get any movie rights. Your publisher owns the movie rights, and even they don't even own the rights. They basically can sell them. Typically, like on a major motion production.
Well, I'm looking at the writing credits. Stephen King, it says, based on the novel by, but it goes Chase Palmer and Cary Fukunaga and Gary Doberman.
Right.
So 3 screenwriters, but they wrote the screenplay,
it's
not
an adaptation.
Stephen King.
Right, it's an adaptation.
Yeah.
Right, correct. But see, the thing is that
the publisher.
Well, no. The way that contracts work in the literary world is that how much you think most writers would make if a movie was, like, say they wrote a book, like he did, and then the movie was made. How much money do you think the writer would make?
70 grand?
Maybe 50. Maybe. So there isn't much financial incentive for them to want to get behind a movie. Now it's hard for them to stop a movie, especially a sequel, because if he never wrote it, they can make whatever they want. If they own the rights, if a movie company bought the rights to it, they can pretty much do what they want. But they want him to promote it, because if he's publicly standing against it, it's going to do shit.
Right.
So it gets very fishy. So I'll be interested to see how Stephen King. I know Stephen King loves this movie. He did. He came out. He promoted the hell out of it. He went on tour with it. He was doing talks on it. He went on all the social media and he made posts about it very often, very regularly, thanking everyone for going to see the movie. So his take home might have been a little bit larger on this. Because it's always because even though a writer only gets XYZ, they can still sweeten the pot from the production company or the movie company can always sweeten the pot to make things a little bit more of enticing for the writer to get behind, because they want their support. But like I said, it sucks when you go and you write a book and then it gets made into a movie. Very rarely do you get almost anything out of it. But yeah, it's terrible. That said, though, I think they're going to make a second one soon. And I think they have to make it within the next year and then release it within another 6 months to a year after that.
Yeah. If you made a point, if it made over $600 million and it costs $35 million to produce,
that's about as golden as you can get in the movie industry. I mean, you're talking, I don't know what kind of percentage of profit that is, but it's very high. And it's still got time to go. I mean, Chris, how long has the movie been out? Do you still have the numbers up?
Hang on.
But there's no way that this Who?
It came out September 7th, which was a Thursday. And
Well,
it's still going strong today.
But how
being
many
the
days?
15th. So we're talking. Hang on there.
It's just hey, right in there. How many days it's been out on the IMDb or on Box Office Mojo?
No, it doesn't say how many days.
said
It doesn't
September
have it
13th?
pre-done. You have to add it up yourself.
No, it does. If you go onto the on the overview page, it says how many days it's been in theaters, how many days and how many weeks.
Hang on.
Right there under the totals. If you go on the main page for it. Anyways, I don't want to leave any dead air here, but
No, it's okay. I mean, it's
38
not okay,
days in release is what it says. But I counted 39, so.
okay. So, but it's been out for a while, but not that
Right.
long. It's done very well. They're going to make a different movie. They have to, an additional movie. Now the question is, are they going to make a movie? Because they can't make it with the same. They can make it with the same characters, but they can't make it with the same people, because the demon that is known as It only comes out every 27 years. Okay,
right.
which would have been 2016, as Mike has already declared.
Yeah.
So that movie would have to be with these kids being now 27 years older. So they'd have
Right.
to be somewhere close to
In their
about 40.
40s, yeah.
About 40. Because they're like 14 -ish.
So it wouldn't have the same. It would have the same characters. It would just have different actors and actresses
Well, they
or
could
whatever
cast all
playing
of
them
us.
in their 40s. Yeah.
No, Mike, they can't.
Sure they can.
Now
No, they
Pennywise,
Let's never
Pennywise
try.
would be the same age. Pennywise is ageless, correct?
Well, right. Pennywise isn't real. So, yeah. So, I mean, Pennywise was possessed by a demon. So essentially it's the demon that took over Pennywise's body
Right.
and can alter different states and time. But it's or demons. I mean, they haven't even declared technically what it is that possessed Pennywise.
The-
Good, Mike.
I was gonna say the thing is they killed his heart and they hit him in the head, but it's like they didn't. If his brain or his soul's still somewhat attacked, I don't know how they're gonna come. How he's gonna necessarily come back.
But
in what form?
it's
Well,
a-
he might hibernate at the bottom of the well he fell
Right.
down and then just, regenerate it over 27 years.
But I don't think he even needs to do that because he's not real. Like he's
Right.
a demon or demons. Like they just use his form. Like I think they can go on forever. I don't think they.
So they just inhabit somebody else?
Well, no, I think they can still inhabit Pennywise, but Pennywise keeps changing, getting like earlier in the movie, Pennywise got a rod through its head,
Right.
And it didn't have a mark left on it. The next scene.
That's yeah.
It's just I don't think that our reality affects his reality. Like it took him off guard, took the demons off guard, or whatever, because it had this wound. But it as long as it can feed off the fear, it can be strong and be fine and have no problem. And the guy who played Pennywise did an excellent job.
Right.
His name was Bill Skarsgård.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård. He's like 27 years old.
Has he
on
been
top
in
of it.
anything else?
Tell you in just a moment. Had to wait for the page to load. I just clicked on him.
Yeah. But anyways, I have another interesting fact about the guy is that I don't know if it was one of the reasons why he was actually cast or just another benefit they had of him. But the character Pennywise in this movie, how his eyes were a little off.
Right.
That's how he is in real life.
Huh.
So they just kind of ran with that.
Okay, well, anyways, here we go. Here's our answer. Right now, It Chapter 2 has been announced for 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, they got him. It's the first thing listed on his resume.
Sure. No, definitely.
Then you got Assassination Nation, which is in post-production. You got Castle Rock filming. You got Moomins, I guess is what it is. And The Winter Wonderland. Ascendant, Emperor, Battle Creek, It, Alteration, Atomic Blonde, A Stone Appears, Allegiant, Hemlock and Grove, Victoria, Anna Karina, Simon and the Oaks, The Crown Jewels, Behind Blue Skies, Simple Simon, Rumendine, Finns, something in
Can
Finnish.
you
I
name a
guess.
movie I've seen? Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So-
Atomic Blonde is out. You haven't seen it yet, but you know what that is.
Yeah.
It's also
And then
Blondie's
there's
song.
Allegiant, which is
Well, it is.
Allegiant is what, Act 3 of why can't I think of the name? Of the Insurgent movie series, there's like 3 of them.
Yeah, Divergence, Insurance,
Yeah.
something,
Insurance.
Progressive. I don't know.
Yeah, there we go.
They're all
There's
crap.
how much we care.
They're crap. Crap. Anyways, waste of time. Don't do it. There was something else I have to share. It's pissing me off, and it has since the end of the movie. Not only are they in this weird centered sewer thing, whatever, they have a big giant. They have a big giant mountain full of all these kids things, and some of them are supposed to be like 100 years old or 200 years old or whatever. Which fine, so be it. Then they have all these bodies, I guess, of these children. I don't know if it was all the children he killed, but they said
no, it couldn't have been.
Well, but they inferred almost like it was the children he killed, but they're all floating around several stories up in the air. And at the end, after they fight off Pennywise and he goes away, they all start lowering to the ground.
Yeah,
and they're all like, "Oh, the children are lowering to the ground." Okay, then they cut to a scene like a month later or weeks later, where they're all kind of saying goodbye to each other because summer's ending, and the one girl's going to be shipped off to her aunt's house in Portland.
Maine, we believe.
Go on.
Sure. It could be Portland, Washington, or Portland, Oregon.
No, some Portland city.
Yeah. So, and then so all the kids kind of go their separate way because it's end of summer, but they all go to school together, so I don't get that part. But I think, was it Ben was leaving too? I couldn't remember, but maybe. Anyway, so they had this conversation. They're all kind of leaving, and then like the movie just ends, right? And
right.
But what I don't get is this. To me, it's really rather quite simple. If this occurred, would the authorities be contacted? You would think so. Would they go into this place and find all this crap? You would think so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then they would come and like empty it. It would be all over national news. It would be they would destroy it and rebuild it. So they would, like, when murder happens in house, and it's just like, okay, and all these kids floated down the ground. And it's okay. So what do they do with all the bodies?
And the body parts, because there were body parts floating up there.
Yeah. And they didn't explain any of that. Not a single bit of that.
And did any of those kids survive? Did he like scare them to death and then float their bodies up to physically feed off them later on during his 27-year slumber?
I don't know. They don't explain anything.
No,
so I don't have a clue.
That's kind of bizarre.
Or was it their imagination again?
Too much imagination.
No,
Mike.
there
Here's
wasn't imagination. They were physically there.
I
mean, they were physically there. So, and it wasn't like they just disappeared when Pennywise went away. Like they were his, imagination. He was already gone, and you start floating down, and like, oh, the bodies are floating down, or the kids are floating down.
Oh, yeah, and especially there's all these kids gone, and it's like, and that mother that was over concerned about that one kid. You think like, yeah, you're right. They would call the authorities.
Well, it's not even. It's okay, but okay. The kids themselves, this group of 5 boys and a girl or whatever it was.
Whatever.
Did they tell everyone else about this, or did they keep it a secret? Did they tell everyone they found this? They don't reveal that aspect of it. And if they did, sure as shit. I mean, fuck. Someone goes and kills 2 people, and that's national news. If they had this thing where there were hundreds and hundreds of kids' toys and bodies and things, and
obviously, it'd be around the world.
Yeah, it would be huge. It would be worldwide news. So did they not tell anybody? That's kind of strange.
Yeah.
Of course, the parents and the adults in that area were kind of strange.
Yeah.
But maybe the kids should just call the FBI, and the FBI would come and take care of it because they're not strange.
Well, they said a study was done, and it's 6 times the national average for adults.
They did say that in the movie,
and it's even more frightening for kids.
Yeah. So apparently the FBI is aware of it, and they're like, you know what? Screw this. Not part of my job.
Yeah, but if someone called up and said, "Well, we found all these bodies," and they'd be like, "Oh, okay," they would come pretty quick, I think. I don't know. It was those type of things that didn't ruin the movie for me, but it really upset me. It's like, and I understand, and I always try to give quite a bit of license when it comes to movies because it's a movie, it's make believe, So I don't want to make it feel like, oh, it's got to be wonderful and every answer's got to be, or question's got to be answered, and there can't be anything left undone. I don't care about that. Like the whole Pennywise thing, you don't know. He's obviously coming back, but they make it seem like, well, he may not, or maybe will, or
he's coming back.
But. And that part's fine. That's part of the movie, And if they had to like stretch the truth a little bit on something to make the scene complete, then fine, so be it. But these are big details they're leaving out, huge details. You know what I mean? They don't even allude to what happened, or did they tell anyone, or was there anyone else involved in it? And that bothered me. Because imagine yourself, you're a bunch of 12, 13, 14-year-olds, whatever you are. You're involved in this. Do you tell anyone about it?
You got to tell one of your other friends. They can't be your only friends.
Well, I think they were, though. That's the thing. It's a small town. This is the group of losers and the only people they knew. So, and obviously none of the parents are trustworthy.
No.
Well, as far as we know.
The parents, like what you said earlier, Chris, the parents were a little bit goofy. Like the one guy was at the pharmacy where Beverly was. And she distracted him, and then they did the theft to get the...
Yeah, apparently every male adult in this town is a perv.
Or a little bit
for their own daughter.
Yeah, well, the one for their own daughter, and even the pharmacist. Like, cause she was kind of flirting with him, and he was like flirting back, and
yeah,
it just, and that's fine, and that's fine. That's how Stephen King decided to write the story and whatever. And maybe he had a bad experience in Derry. I don't know. Yeah, maybe
it's a real town, and those people are regretting it now.
But
maybe it's like a little tongue-in-cheek joke about the town.
And it totally could be. It could be
fine.
Absolutely. And who knows? It makes for an interesting story, I suppose. I don't know, but it just bothered me that they left so many major points on this, and they talked about we'll make a pact and we'll all come back in 27 years if anything starts happening, and we'll fight it again or something, which obviously is what's going to be chapter 2.
So they're going to fly in and defeat Pennywise.
Right.
Next one.
They're on Facebook. Oh crap! Guess we're going back.
I got Southwest airline tickets.
Well, I can't come until Friday because I got to save some money. Yeah.
By the way, as a side note, that Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5.
Oh, yes.
Otherwise known as The Dream Child. That did come out in 1989.
See?
All right.
Boo. I was right. Boo earns.
Boo earned?
Boo earns. Yeah, so, yeah. No. I mean, overall, I have to say I did enjoy the movie. And like Chris, I didn't feel like it was a long movie personally. Like if it was 2 hours and 15 minutes, it felt like maybe an hour and 45 to me. I wasn't really checking my phone. I wasn't worried or upset like, oh, how long is it going to go on for? It was, but that being said, I think they wasted some valuable time with those silly scenes that didn't need to be in there, and they could have put something else in its place, maybe to explain more of the story or his backstory or whatever. But I overall like the movie, and I'm actually interested to see the second one. I'd be interested to see also if Stephen King is going to be involved, and if so, to what extent.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, either way, I'm sure it'll be good. I mean, after having such a great movie, like I said, it was a $35 million movie and made 600 plus million more than you know.
Wow. The United Kingdom, $40.4 million. Who knew the Brits loved terror?
Oh.
Normally, the movies that we review don't do that well, where the UK is like holding the bottom dollar on the foreign sales, but it is on this one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think this is something right up their alley, you know?
Right.
Oh, so does Germany and Mexico love this movie as well.
Yeah, but those are Americans in Mexico. Look at I got him stumped. No, just kidding.
No. No.
So anyways, I like the movie. I did have my problems with it, but I can see past them. It's worth seeing in the theater. It's definitely worth seeing, period. I can't say for certain if sorry, I froze up there for some reason. I can't say for certain that it's better or worse than the original It, because I never saw it. Now I will see it so I can compare them. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. But being an R rating, I would have wanted maybe a little more something. I don't know, a little more blood or screaming and the terror. I did like when the kid broke his arm though. Well, and that was actually, I take it back too. In the opening scene where the little boy goes and he gets attacked by Pennywise, he gets his arm ripped off. That was actually pretty bad.
Yeah, it was all vicious.
Yeah, I wasn't quite. I expected him being grabbed and pulled in or something. I didn't expect him to rip his arm off.
But I do like it though. I mean, that puts Pennywise right into your crosshairs where you really don't like this guy.
Correct. Well, it's not like I like demon clowns anyways, but but yeah, you're right.
Who does?
You're right.
Who
I
does
didn't
like
it.
clowns?
So so before we give our final review and oh my God, it's 105 already. Before we give our final review and wrap everything up, is there anything you really would like to add that you liked or bothered you or anything along those lines?
No, I mean, the only thing I liked is like they made like the like Pennywise kind of like that, like where he in the opening where he got like the trusted George, where like come on and all that. It's like sweet, and he lured the kid in because I could see a kid falling for that like very easily, and I thought that was very good story writing.
I will say one thing I really liked about Pennywise's makeup was the two front teeth, like a chipmunk.
Right.
Yeah, where they're both like combined and they're extra long, like he's really gonna gnaw on you.
Right. Yeah. No. I think whoever did his design for this particular movie did a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like how they utilized them throughout the film. Like it wasn't always the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Like, you know, even when he's in the house, he like comes out of the fridge at one point upside down, all contorted, and he has to get himself uncontorted and, you know, kind of almost like a spider or a bug would or something, you know. But sometimes he comes right at you, and sometimes he comes from around a corner. You know what I mean? It's just like
it wasn't predictable.
It's
like
very
you know,
quite a
like
bit.
instantly he's gonna be right here. Like
right.
If you watch Halloween, sometimes you know, like oh okay, he's gonna open the door and Michael Myers is right there.
Right.
So
No,
I like how
absolutely.
they did that.
Right.
I mean, Stephen King's done a good job of that. Like where you least expect it, and someone comes right out
Right. No, definitely.
in his movies, or people directing his movies, I should say.
Right. Right. No, very good. Very good. So overall, I'm going to say out of 4 stars, I give it 3. Solid 3.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
Mike,
gonna
how
go
many stars do you give it? Are you agreeing exactly with Kevin?
No, I'm gonna go up 3.5.
Well, I'll give it a solid 3 stars. I liked it. There was, you know, a couple scenes here or there that didn't
You didn't
like
need,
at the
but-
end scene where Pennywise has his little, what would you call that? It's not a covered wagon, but it's a circus wagon you might see in the 1800s down in the sewers. And you look at it and you're like, well,
it's a
how the
wagon.
heck did he get that there? You know, and that sewer room was huge, way huge and brand new, almost looking sometimes. So it was, I like it. I'll give it 3 out of 4. I mean, I like the story. I like the characters, the actors. It was very well acted.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I agree completely. So I say it's 3. Mike says 3.5 because he doesn't know how to judge movies. And Chris gives it a 3. So that being said, I think we're going to be out of here for the day. Yeah. So I have no idea what movie we're seeing next, but we're planning on doing one every weekend. So we'll see you then.
Bye for
Bye.
now.
Goodbye.